USA for Africa is the organization that was started with the proceeds from the song We Are the World, which was put together in 1985 in response to, it was a U.S. artist as a result of Harry Belafonte and his idea that something had to be done since the British artists, the European artists were all coming together to do something, which at that time was under the name of Band-Aid. A group of the artists came together after Harry's motivation, and on January 28th, 1985, they recorded the song We Are the World.
And it was wildly successful.
Wildly successful, yeah.
Yes, they talked about $63 million.
$63 million, so a little over $63 million. And it wasn't in the first year, but it's over the period of the last 30 or so years.
So it's been 30 or so years.
It's been exactly 33 years.
Oh my, it doesn't seem like that long.
Since that night in January 1985, yes.
Do we still need something like that? What's changed in the world?
Well, I don't know if it's a question of do we still need something, but there's always a need to have people come together and be motivated to do something to bring awareness to things that are happening to the less fortunate, and as well as to find a way for people to contribute to having an impact on helping to improve their conditions.
Does it always have to be money? I know We Are the World was produced so money could be raised, but do people only have to use money to improve the conditions in their world?
Well, I mean, I think you're asking me about the world conditions, but the idea of raising money is the end result of people trying to find a way to make a difference. Money is generally the simplest in the sense of being able to have more of it to address things, but I mean, We Are the World also sparked a lot of the idea that people wanted to just do something to make a difference, and money was one of the ways by buying the song, but at the same time people from all over the world wanted to find a way that how could we do something in Ethiopia. And whether they contributed money or not, so the money helped for some of those ideas to come through.
So what do you want Milwaukee to know about what you do and about?
Well, I mean, USA for Africa it doesn't implement projects, but it provides resources to folks on the ground. I think that one of the back in the time when it was in its heyday, one of the things that was so significant about USA for Africa is that it gave money to African organizations on the ground. And that's not to say that U.S. organizations doing work over there weren't supported, but I mean, our objective was to make sure or do as much as possible that the money went and got to the people who most needed it. And just like anywhere, the people who are best suited to address an issue are the people who are in the midst of it. And so we had a clear objective that we wanted to support indigenous and local organizations, to give them the opportunity to be a part of helping to solve their own issues.
And people can still help.
And people can still help. They can still buy that song, We Are the World. It's still available now instead of on vinyl or a tape or a DVD or CD. They can download it. It's digital. And it's still available. And the making of We Are the World is still something that you can download that right as well. And that's the way that we have always raised money. And people still buy the song. And there's like a whole new generation. Digital has introduced it to a whole new generation of folks. But our biggest market for We Are the World is actually in Asia. I mean, that's where most of the sales happen. That's where most of the money comes from. But the song is often always used whenever there's an issue or a crisis someplace in the world. It's not just Africa. It's been anointed as the people's anthem. And when people feel the need that there's an opportunity to try to inspire people to come together, We Are the World tends to be the song that gets played. So it's not just an Africa song. It's a song about the way that you help each other is to come together, lend a hand, and that, you know, love is going to be the thing that really addresses all of this, you know, so.
And that can be done internationally or locally.
That can be done internationally or locally, and which is why I think the song is so special, because there's nothing in that song that says it's only about Africa. It's just about the fact that, you know, if we're going to lend a hand to help each other, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be in Africa. It can be anywhere there's a need to inspire people that we're responsible for each other.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you
Very nice to meet you.
for
Nice to
talking
talk
with me.
you.
And,
Yes.
I am, you know, this is my second time ever coming to Milwaukee. I'm actually quasi involved on a sort of an advisory group that Brad Pitt has for the Black Holocaust Museum. So that's how I ended up coming to Milwaukee a couple of years ago, and I'm a member of that group. So from time to time, you know, Brad calls on and says, "Can you just give us some help, give input?" There's a group of us, you know.
So you'll be coming back soon because the museum
I know. He told me today that it's reopening on June 18th. And so he says, "You should come." I said, "Well, you know, you're just telling me this now, so I don't know if I'll be here, but you know, I'm sure we'll discuss it, and if it's possible, I might consider doing it. You know, so it would be nice to see the new location, because I saw where it was before and how things had ended, and I know that that's not a great tribute to Dr. Cameron. So
Right.
yeah, so. And I think it would be only fitting that it gets reopened on the heels of the big memorial to lynching that just opened in Montgomery. So